Tomatoes are unavailable. Even the available ones are quite expensive. This is understandable. This season is not a season for tomatoes. When it was the season, you will hear a couple of people saying, preserve tomatoes, preserve tomatoes. It is for a season like this. The ones you preserved, how long was it able to take you before you exhaust them? Considering the number of meals you will have to prepare with tomatoes. This is not to say we want to diss tomatoes. No, tomatoes are quite nutritious and healthy thanks to lycopene and other nutrients found in tomatoes. We are seeking a healthy alternative. What is this alternative? We are going for carrots. Carrots are nutritious. They are healthy as well. Thanks to beta carotene, fiber, vitamin K, potassium, and other nutrients found in carrots. They are good for your eyes. They will also help to boost your immunity, among other benefits. So let me quickly show you how I made this sweet stew without tomatoes. Tomatoes, we still love you until you are here. We are coming back. You are welcome. Let's get started. Although this is called carrot stew, we won't just be needing only carrots. We need some peppers, onions, your choice of protein, and of course, some seasonings to bring this to life. I must tell you, this was very sweet. I used some chicken parts for my protein. You can use any protein of your choice. I washed this with hot water before adding cold water. This is the way I love to do it to make sure that everything is properly done. Next is to prepare the ingredients for marinade. You can marinate with any ingredients of your choice. While so many people differ on the reason for marinating their meat, I marinate mine to add flavor and tenderize. So I ask you, why do you marinate? Would you like to share? Let me know the reason you marinate in the comment section below. I will simply make sure these ingredients touches every of these meats. Then I will keep this in the fridge for 1 hour. This is 1 hour later. I will add the meat into a pot and then cook. Normally, I don't add water when I'm cooking. I would love to cook my meat for about 7 to 10 minutes before adding water. Do you wonder where the water in this pot is coming from? It is from the meat. When you cook, before you add water, you will notice that there is water in the meat you are cooking. I cook this for about 7 to 10 minutes. When I get back, then I can add water to my taste. This water will form part of our stock. To the other ingredients now, these are the vegetables. We'll be needing carrots, of course. These carrots are very strong. I must warn you, if your blender is not strong, I will advise you follow this my step. If yours is very strong, you can go ahead and blend. I normally chop this into smaller chunks, just like so. I will add all of this in a pot. Add some water. The water I will be adding will be exactly the same level with the carrots. Then I will cook until the carrots are a bit tender. This will take about 3 to 4 minutes. Then I will take it off the heat. If you have a very strong blender, you don't need to go through this. Simply cut them into smaller chunks and then blend. The next ingredients are the peppers. These peppers will be well cleaned before I blend them, while some people differ on the reason for removing the seeds. Some others say no, the seeds are a bit bitter, we need to remove them, while some say the seeds are always difficult to blend. Whatever your reason is, go ahead. For me, the seeds are bitter and I must remove them. Okay? If you don't want to remove the seeds, if you want to have them, go ahead. It is your choice. For me, I will remove the seed from all of them except the Scotch bonnet pepper. Look at this. This is the tatache. Why some people call this the red bell pepper, I think there's another one that is red bell. So I removed the seeds before cutting them into smaller chunks. The next is the green bell pepper. This was very big. I will remove the seed as well and then cut this into smaller chunks. My blender will be very proud of me. This is the Scotch bonnet pepper. This, I don't need to remove the seeds, so I will simply cut them into smaller chunks. These are the chombo. I will do the same as well. To the onions, I will simply slice them into smaller chunks and then I will fry the chicken. Hello, did you notice there is onion inside this oil? I normally fry onion into my oil, especially if I'm using this oil for the first time before frying. It helps to give it a very nice flavor. Look at that. Other things you can add are ginger or garlic. I will allow this to stay for some time before removing them. This is before they get brown. Do you add anything to your oil before you start to fry? If you do, let me know what you add in the comment section below. I will be happy to hear from you. Once the chicken turns to golden brown, just the way you love it, take it off. These are the chicken I just fried. This is the way I love mine. Then here is the stock. We'll be needing this stock later. It is time to assemble all the ingredients. All of these ingredients will be blended. Remember, if I said if your blender is strong enough, you don't need to cook your carrots before blending. Mine is not very strong, so I cooked mine before blending. This will help my blender blades. Here is the outcome. This has been blended. Can you see that, guys? You will be needing garlic and ginger. I will be using my grater to do this job. I will simply grate them and set them aside. We also need some onion. Apart from the onion we blended, we need another onion. This should be sliced. It can be cut. It can be chopped. Whichever way you want it, we'll be needing this. So keep this aside as well. It is now time to start cooking all these preparations we've been doing since. Here are the onions in oil. This oil should be hot. That's the way you would fry your onion before adding your tomatoes. Next, add the grated ginger and garlic. You can mince this as well. Simply give this a good stir and then we add all the mix. Remember the carrots and the peppers. This is the right time to add them. Once you add them, give this stew a very good mix so that everything will be well incorporated. Once you are done, I will advise you cover this pot because carrot stew can splatter all over the place. You don't want this piping hot stew to touch your skin, do you? So cover and let this cook properly. This took about 10 minutes. Remember, I cooked my carrots before blending. If you didn't cook your carrots, you may need to cook for longer time until everything is well cooked. Once this is well cooked, I will simply give this a stir. Can you see that? It is now reducing in quantity. It is getting thicker as well. Now is the right time to add my seasoning. Seasoning of your choice is perfect. You can see the salt. I'm using very little salt because we'll be using the stock, which is tasty already. So be mindful the way you add salt. Whichever seasoning you want, go for it. Season this, stir properly, and then we'll be adding the chicken. I normally love to add my chicken to my stew. Even if it is tomato stew, I will add my protein to my stew before adding the stock or extra water. Do you do this? You will love it. Here is the stock, the water I used to prepare this meat. I will be adding more water. If yours is not enough, you can add extra water. At this point, you can add the water you used to cook your carrots. The water is always sweet. So before we get to this point, the water is finished. We must have finished drinking the water. Don't be like us. You can add the water now. Allow this to cook for about 3 minutes and this stew is done. Guys, can you believe this? That there is no tomatoes in this stew. This stew was very sweet. I must warn you. The reason is not far-fetched. Remember, carrots are sweet. What of the red bell peppers that are sweet as well? They will help to add color and thickness to this yumminess. Thanks for watching. When it was the season for tomatoes, when tomatoes were all over the place, did you preserve some? How long did it take you before you exhaust all of them? I know you love tomatoes, don't you? Thanks for watching. I will see you in my next one.